Hi and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast with DT in the building. How's it going? You good?
Yeah, I'm alright, man.
Behaving yourself this week?
I have been behaving myself. Can't speak for other people, but I have.
Who are you talking?
Listen, can I address one thing without mentioning names and really getting in deep about this, right? No, I'm going to say something, right? Because my name's been mentioned a hell of a lot lately. I've not responded to certain people on social media accounts. What I want to address is just one very simple thing, and this is from my perspective. Arsenal Fan TV, AFTV, whatever you want to call it, when you do the fan cams after a game, it is there to speak about the game. It is there to speak about what you have just witnessed. It is not there to air your personal grievances with anyone you may have a problem with. I have been guilty of it in the past. Not innocent. You know, the only time I ever regret doing something on there where I've mentioned someone was Ty, and I personally rang the man to apologise to him because I realised I was in the wrong.
Hold on, more than one.
I don't feel guilty for none of them. I just said to you, the other ones, that one I feel guilty for. Anything else I've said has been a retaliation to people bringing me up first. No more. I don't want none of it. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to go on there. I want to talk about the game. I want to express my opinions and use the platform for what it was built for. End of conversation.
Cool. I mean, listen, you know me already when it comes to a lot of these 140, well, it's more than that now. The 140 character warriors, I call them. The
280.
People, or 280 or whatever. You know what? Twitter's getting boring now. I'll be honest with you, right? I kind of prefer Instagram. I can't see where the players are coming from with a lot of that now.
Yeah, nice people on there.
Prefer Instagram and things like that because there's people who just sit on there and all they do is just hate. They spread rumours about stuff they don't know. Honestly, some people ain't got a life. I actually look on it and laugh. With a lot of it, I'm looking on it and laughing. I'm getting on with my thing. They're not getting on with their thing. They're worrying about other people. So it is very... Some people out there got some sad lives.
It is what it is.
But it is what it is, man. If that's how they want to live, you know what I mean, with their sad lives, it is what it is, man. I've had a very busy week, man.
I know. So have I.
I'm doing stuff every day. People in the team are doing stuff every day. We're working hard. We're building up what we're doing. And, long may it continue. And there's no way some little, 280 character... bad man them, right?
I know.
Are going to derail me from what I'm doing. And you know what? And as I always say in life, do not let people who have not got a clue 90% of the times what they're talking about derail you from what you're doing. You just have to... It's one of the lessons that I've learned since doing social media. I was asked the other day actually to come and give a talk on social media on how to avoid trolls and how to deal with them and that.
Notice they didn't invite me.
Because I think I'm kind of like well placed to speak to people on that because it is a problem. You know what I mean?
You
it's
literally
a problem.
never respond to anyone.
It is a problem. You know what it is, right? You can't. Somebody told me a while ago that you can't respond. You can't respond. Some things you have to respond to. You can't respond to everything because then every single time somebody questions you about something, you have to respond. So you're forever responding to absolutely everything that somebody raises, and you just can't do that.
I know.
I mean, you've got a business to run. You know what I mean?
I've been guilty of it.
You've got a platform to build. So I get on with doing what I'm doing. Whilst these people are chatting their rubbish, we're in talks with people about trying to raise money for charities. We're in talks with people about trying to do more things to do with TV. We're in talks with people about building our platform that we've got already across the world. We're in talks with people about coming up with new ideas and stuff like that and improving what we already do. Yeah. And that's what I concentrate on. I don't waste time.
I know. I'm slowly starting to learn that. I know that.
That's the thing.
Half of my problem is that they know they'll get a reaction from me, which is why they do it. No,
but you know what? That's what I always say to you. Once they start to learn that, don't really get a reaction from them guys. They don't really bother with you as much. They will still always, You know, because you're a big platform and you're there to be shot at. I get it, I understand it, right?
That's fine, but not to the level that it always is. It's just, it bores me. I've got other things to worry about. I've got a life to live, and
exactly.
Yeah,
I've got my family.
life.
I mean, the daughter's just gone uni. Respect to her.
Yeah, man, I see that.
Telling me the other day, I was very proud, right? Took her up the other day. She's gone to Leicester Uni.
Yeah.
They're doing some little scheme where they get to go and watch a rugby or they get to go and watch a football team. And then she goes, Dad, you know what? What if I switch to a Leicester fan? That's what she said to me. I said to her, yeah, you could do, but then you stay in Leicester. When the uni's finished, you don't come back.
But then thinking of that, didn't you switch from a Luton fan to an Arsenal
well,
fan?
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah. That's another one of the rumours. Luton fan. I've also heard QPR fan. I've also heard, honestly, man, and none of these people knew me before.
Oh, there you go.
Right? I remember when there's a picture when I used to be a season ticket holder at Highbury for years. I remember the picture went up with me celebrating at Highbury. I was told it was a Photoshop. I mean, what do you do, man? You just get on with what you're doing, man. You know what I mean?
It is.
Intelligent people listen to intelligent people.
There you go.
Right?
That's why you listen to
Fools listen to fools.
That's why you listen to me, innit?
Maybe I'm a fool. Right, listen, you know what I want to talk about today?
Yeah.
Right? Aaron Ramsey. This situation with Aaron Ramsey. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? I'm pretty upset about this in a way, right? In case you don't know, Aaron Ramsey, his offer of a new contract has been withdrawn by Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right, so that means that, you know, unless they can come to some sort of agreement, it doesn't mean it's completely dead. It looks like it, because the current contract that Aaron Ramsey's been holding out for since the summer to get done has been withdrawn by Arsenal, right? And therefore, that means that Aaron Ramsey can leave for free at the end of the season. Nothing. Another player who's been here for years, who can just, and one of our main players who will just be able to walk through the door and say, goodbye, guys, and we don't even get a red cent for him. Either that, or he can be bought in January, right? And we all know that when a player's contract is running down to nothing, he holds all the cards. That means the club will have to sell him for next to nothing. So don't be surprised you see him go in January for something like a 10 to 15 million pounds, which on the face of it will look ridiculous to most people, because they'll be like, well, hold on, surely he's worth 35, 40 million, 50, all things like that will be quoted, but he won't be, because at the end of that season, he can walk away for zero. So the club will have to, like what they did with Alexis Sanchez, like what they did with Robin Van Persie, like what they've done with Nasri, there's a whole list of them. Let the player, either sell the player for peanuts or let him walk away at the end of the season for nothing. He could even sign a deal in January with a club in Europe.
Yeah.
So he could sign for Juventus or one of those and still be at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Now, this is a utter mess. I did say when I was doing my Transfer Daily shows throughout the summer, right, that if Aaron Ramsey has not signed a new deal by the end of the transfer window or leading up to that transfer window, we need to sell him. Get the money for him and get somebody else. No. Why has this been allowed to happen again?
Well,
why?
Look at last week's show, and you asked me my reasons why I was glad that Ivan Gazidis is gone. Here's one of the reasons. He's one of the reasons why players have had such shit contracts, why we're in this kind of mess. Ivan Gazidis, it's the final pieces of that jigsaw. This is the final remains of it. If you noticed, during the course of the summer, the new regime that's come in, Iwobi signed a new contract, Xhaka signed a new contract, El Neni signed a new contract, Reece Nelson's just signed a new contract. Now you might look at some of those names and you go, well, yeah, but they might not be here for long. Well, it doesn't matter. We've signed those players to contracts where they won't be leaving anywhere for little amounts of money. So if we do get rid of El Neni, for example, in the summer, then we can command decent amount of money for him.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're stopping any of this happening again.
The contract situation has been an absolute
shambles.
Mess. Lucas Perez.
It's a shambles.
4.5 million. We paid like 17 million.
And the only reason why they let it go for that little amount of money is because they had to take his 90 grand a week wage bill away. That's the only reason why.
Yeah. Who said that he should get 90 grand a week?
There you go. It's all down
Lucas
to Ivan
Perez.
and them. It's all down to Ivan. He's the CEO. It's all down to that man. So you wonder why the final piece, and you wonder why I said bye-bye, see you later. This is why I don't trust bald people. Told you that. And it's just at the end of the day, this is the final piece, the final little part of it. And
this is Aaron Ramsey.
I know
this is one of our main guys. This is a guy that's won us 2 FA Cup finals.
Yeah, but I tell you one thing, he's replaceable. He is replaceable. And I love Aaron Ramsey in the sense that he does certain things. He frustrates me at times when he tries doing his Hollywood flicks and it don't come off and everything else. And I'll always have a special place for him because of the 2 FA Cup final wins. And, you know, he was the player that broke that long streak of no trophy and everything else. And obviously seeing him come back from such a horrific injury and everything else. But he's replaceable.
So you don't think it's going to be a miss?
No, not if we're going strengthening in the right area. I think if we got rid of him, for example, and we brought in Banega, for example, from Argentina, the Argentinian player.
Yeah, Sevilla.
I think that I think what's key to this, right, is when I initially heard it yesterday, I thought, fuck you, Ramsey. That was my initial thought when I heard the report. But the reports are that Arsenal are the ones. Ramsey's agreed to it. He said, yep, fine, let's do it. Go, sign a new contract, everything cool. Arsenal have now turned around and said, nah, sorry, mate. Took it away.
Well, actually,
on the advice of Emery, and there was something else as well, but there was a couple of factors in it as to why they've retracted it, and Emery was one of them. So as Emery turned round to the board and said, he doesn't fit my style, I've got enough there to not worry about him. I need someone here. Like a winger, for example.
We need a winger.
So has Emery gone to them and said, you know what? I need a winger more than an Aaron Ramsey. Because Aaron's going in, the way Emery's set up, it's very clear that he has that kind of floating 10. Right? And Ramsey's been playing in it. And it's been very evident over the last few weeks that when Ramsey plays in there, we've not really been that creative. And the moment Mesut Ozil goes into there, we look a different team. So he's looking at it and going, well, Ozil goes in that role, so I'm not worried. You've got the other lads that are all around coming through. Guendouzi's come on leaps and bounds and has done more than we expected. Torreira, and we're stocked in that area. Yes, we always, susceptible to injuries and stuff, but so is any club. You lose one of your best players in any position, you're never going to fill that void with the equal, amount of quality. But he's probably looking at it and saying, you know what, needs must. Right now, I need a winger. I don't need an Aaron Ramsey. So do I think he's worth 200 odd grand a week, whatever they're talking about? No, not right now. It doesn't fit my system. I'd rather you go, get rid of Ramsey, even if you take 10, 15, put that towards a winger that I need, and then I'll spend 150, 80, whatever grand a week it is, on the player I want. Not wasting him. Because you've got Ozil on 300 grand a week, supposedly.
350, some people.
Putting Aaron Ramsey on over 200 grand a week. They're effectively playing the same position. You don't need 2 players for that one position. It's very clear. Ozil can't play on the wing. We already know that. We've known that from the Wenger era. Aaron Ramsey can't play on the wing. Because he doesn't offer you no width, no pace. It's not his fault. He's not a winger. He's a central midfielder. So we don't need 2 players that can play one position. And the way Emery's set up is very, very clear. He has a distinct style of play, how he wants it to be played. And both of them cannot fit in the same team. I said to you in an interview a couple of weeks ago, I said Aaron Ramsey and Mesut Ozil cannot play in the same team together. Not in this formation and the way Emery wants it to play. Because it's affecting Aubameyang and everything else, because we've got no width. Aubameyang thrives on width. And I've said to you that Aubameyang needs to play a little closer to Lacazette. And when he does that, and we've got natural width, that's where you'll start to see what he used to do at Dortmund with them quick balls in the box. When he was playing I know it was against Vorskla in the Europa League, but you saw what he was able to do when the ball was whipped in first time. It's the way he plays. Just watch what he did at Dortmund. That's his style of play. But he's not getting that. He's basically the wingman. He's the one who's got to go out and try and create things. But if you've got someone on the other side that's a natural winger, it will only add to his game, and it will make the whole team, I feel, will make it more rounded. At the moment, it feels very square pegs and round holes in that kind of area. I just don't, and I've even said to you, I think Iwobi should be starting ahead of Aaron Ramsey because he offers natural width and pace and trickery and all that kind of stuff.
What about, actually, I mean, listen, I've heard the same thing. I heard that the decisions, the contract's been vetoed by Unai Emery. Right, it's a rumor. Nobody knows for sure, but that's a rumor, and it does kind of seem to play out because these negotiations have been going on now for probably nearly a year, and then all of a sudden now Arsenal said no, actually we're not. He's going to go in it because if they're saying that the current contracts no, we're not going to do that unless he drops down.
I know.
Which is quite a humiliating climb down. He's going to go in it.
The only thing that I can say is that unless Arsenal are trying to play poker.
Maybe. Why not? What you say is true. I agree with you 100%. He can't play out wide. We've seen that under the Wenger era that when he was played out wide, it's a waste of a player. He doesn't hold the width. He's not quick enough to play there. He's not really a number 10. I don't feel he is a number 10, but he's not a creative number 10. He's sort of like Frank Lampard used to be at Chelsea, where he arrives in the box late, and he can score goals. Although he's not been a prolific goal scorer in midfield ever since the injury, really. But what he is though is a box-to-box midfielder with a lot of energy, really fit, does a lot of hard work during games, as well as being a player that's quite skillful as well at times, right? Why can't he play then? Why couldn't you have a situation where you say, for instance, have a Torreira, Ramsey, and Ozil just in front of him?
I think because of his ill discipline at times. Because how many times have we said that Ramsey's disappearing, goes off, leaves us exposed? This is one of the biggest arguments. I feel that with Torreira as that defensive midfielder, you've got to have someone next to him that can go and create, but knows, when
Ramsey,
to stay.
Yeah, but Ramsey.
But Ramsey doesn't. He never has. But then you can start
working that into him and saying, right, learn when to get forward, because you'd be the more forward of the thinking person of the two players, and know when to get forward, but also know when to get back.
Emery's had these players for what now? 5 months.
It's not a long time.
It's long enough to know whether they're implementing his ideas. He sees him every day. He's had Aaron Ramsey all summer, wasn't away at the World Cup or anything like that. He's had Aaron Ramsey from day one. And maybe he's looked at him in training and said, you're just not what I need right now. And then obviously it goes into games, and as games are going, he's obviously looking at it and saying, it's not what I need. I've gave you the chance, you're doing what you're doing, but do I believe that you're worth 200 odd grand a week? No.
Well, is it fair that Mesut Ozil's got a contract for 300 or possibly some people say
before Emery was
350 here. A week, right? That he's been given that contract, right? And Ramsey's not got his. And you could argue, right? Well, I don't think there's any argument in it. Look at the contribution that Aaron Ramsey has made to Arsenal, and look at the contribution that Mesut Ozil's made to Arsenal over the years, and so that no wonder he wanted a bigger contract.
But Robbie, this is not down to Unai Emery. This was done before he even got here. This is part of the old regime.
Shouldn't some of that be taken into account?
Well, no, because at the end of the day, we're not a charity. You can't sit there as a football club and turn around and go, oh, you know what, let's give Aaron Ramsey 200 odd grand a week because it ain't really fair that Mesut's getting that much.
But he's a senior player,
no, I know he is. But what I'm saying is that as the team, Unai Emery has obviously looked at this in terms of the team and what he feels is best for his team. And he's gone back to the hierarchy and said, he's not what I need. I'm willing to let him go because I want this. Or has Emery gone to him and said, right, I've had a couple of months worth of matches now. We're really into the thick of things. January's coming. Because you've got to remember, January, although it's still a few months away, if you're trying to get a player in January, you're negotiating now. You're trying to get the ball rolling now, ready for January. Right. So has he gone to the board and said, I want this player in January because he's going to be the final piece to complement it?
There's a rumour.
And they've turned around and said, well, yeah, you can have him, but we've got to get rid of or do something here or there.
One of the rumours is we're interested in Christian Pavon, who's the Argentinian, played in the World Cup. Looked good actually. Plays for Boca Juniors. We were linked with him during the summer.
Yeah, it was linked with him.
Plays out wide. He's one of the rumours are we're interested. But these are all rumours at the moment. And this now, is this not now as well going to be a bit of a destabilising effect on the team? Now it's all going to be, if Ramsey comes on that pitch, say, at the weekend, and he doesn't have a good game, people are going to be on his back. You're going to start hearing lots of rumours. You're going to start hearing about this club wanting him, that club wanting him. All the stuff that we've had over the years, that destabilising effect in the dressing room is going to be back again now because one of Arsenal's main players, and I just cannot believe we're here again, one of Arsenal's main players is going to be leaving.
And
it's mad.
At the end of the day, Robbie, it's the club's fault. It's the club's fault. Before the season was done, you said it, I've said it. If you're not going to sort out his contract, then sell him. When the season started, I turned around and said, if he's haggling over a deal, don't play him. And right now, my sentiment is that even though it wasn't his decision, and I know he's a professional, and I know he'll still probably put 110% in, I wouldn't play him.
But then if you don't play him, then there's again now, this is another situation.
You get less money.
It's a catch-22. Yeah, you don't play him now. When it comes to January, it'd be even less money.
I know, but
you have to play him and they hope that he plays well so that you can try and get a bit of value up. So that, listen, we didn't pay a lot of money for him when he came all those years ago, 4.5 million or something.
And have we recouped that money and then some?
Yeah, we've recouped it, but at the end of the day, we've got a valuable asset that we're going to let go for. He's only 27.
I know. Blame Ivan.
In the prime of his career, we're going to let it go for literally nothing.
Blame Ivan. Like I told you, it's part of the old regime, and this is that final piece of that, that kind of era. And I'm looking at everything, and I'm just saying, look, it is what it is. I would rather a player playing in that starting 11 that is wanted at the club, and is going to, and he's giving 110%. Alex Iwobi might not have certain attributes that Aaron Ramsey has. They're completely different players. But I would rather Alex Iwobi in the side than Aaron Ramsey.
At this present moment.
Moment. And because Alex Iwobi would actually offer more on the wing than Aaron Ramsey would. So I personally think for the better of the team.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsey offers a lot, even last weekend. Even when he had a bad game. A couple of assists in the game.
Oh, we really go in there. Seriously.
What?
This is where sister stats piss me off. He gets an assist for Lacazette's goal. Really? I could have laid that pass into him. It wasn't a splitting pass and created something amazing. It was a pass. And it was actually a bad pass that Lacazette had to stop and check, get it out of his feet, and then hit an absolute screamer. And that's what I'm saying. Someone
still has to be there.
Yes, but Robbie. Right, Robbie, listen. Robbie. If Xhaka had made that pass to him, you wouldn't be sitting there going, Xhaka made a sick assist.
What did I say to you? So you see, no, I'll flop you.
No,
I need you to get your Xhaka thing on. I'll flop you again, right? Because the other day, I think it was against Newcastle, I actually say to you, a guy, if you look, Xhaka, not only did he score the free kick, he had a hand, even though it weren't a direct assist in that second goal, because he was down there, he crossed it back in, that led to that assist. He had a big part to play in that second goal. I do big him up with a thing.
No, because that there split Newcastle open. When he went down the channel and laid that ball, look at the ball he laid back. Look at the ball he laid back to Lacazette,
who then assisted Lacazette.
Now go and look at the rules. Right, because I actually read on this over assists, because I see some stat come up and I went,
that's not an assist, the Xhaka one, but he had a big part to play in the goal.
If I need to get this up and I'll show you it, but technically that actually went down as a Xhaka assist. Don't look at me, I'm going by the rules. I'm going to get it up for you and I'll show you.
Let me tell you
There's something to do with deflections. This is what it's about. It's based on a deflection, and if it's, I can't remember exactly what it was. I will get this up for you and I'll show you. But it's based on a deflection. If it hits something and falls to another player, it's not an assist. And if it hits something else, I can't remember the exact dynamic of it.
Let me tell you why Ramsey's one is an assist. Yeah, Because you know what, that's late on in the game, yeah. And this is where Aaron Ramsey, and when he goes, this is the sort of things we'll miss with him, right? It's late on in the game. The guy has got a supreme engine on him. I'd love to see his stats, but in Arsenal's team, he's got to be one of the fittest players. He'll get up and down that pitch for the whole 90 minutes. That's one of the reasons why Wenger never used to take him off, because he's got such an engine on him. Now, at that late on in the game, he's still in that position, right? Forward up at the pitch, he's run down there, he's got the ball, and he's laid it off for an assist. It's an assist.
Do you know
other players might have been too tired to
have got... Do you know who
other players may not have got in that position.
Do you know who the most important person was in that move?
Lacazette?
No. Lucas Torreira.
Played the ball forward.
The ball was cleared out
and
by Everton, and he done the one thing that we've been missing for so long, was that interception. In there straight away.
But you know what? This is what I just said to you a minute ago, right? You've got two facets to a goal, right? There's the assist, so that's that final person who lays that ball through, right? But also there's having a part in that goal. So when they go back to the training ground on a Monday and they start to assess the game and they look at the videos, Torreira will get a pat on the back, because they'll highlight that in the video. I even do it at my son's football, and they'll say, look at Torreira's tackle. That directly led to the goal. Even though it's not a direct assist, he had a big hand in that goal. So that is a very important part. It's just that it doesn't go down in the stats that we get. But as far as the players and the coaches are concerned, that will be a big plus for Lucas Torreira, because he plays such a hand in the goal, just like Xhaka the other day. And Ramsey plays a hand in goals sometimes. We miss these things. And as I said, now we're going to get this little turmoil going round. What's going on with Ramsey?
We might not.
He's linked to Juventus. He's linked to this team. He's linked to that team. If he has a good game, Man United want him. That. You know what I mean? This is the sort of thing we don't want. We want a stable club. We want things, stable. We want everybody playing. I mean,
what's he going to do at Man United? Play right back?
Listen, there's been rumours that United are interested.
Hey, listen, Man United want him. Yeah, we'll give you a bit of money as well. Give us Pogba.
I'd have Pogba.
So a little swap.
I'd have Pogba in a heartbeat, man. I mean, I've always said I rate Pogba.
Let's have a little swap. Imagine Pogba and Aubameyang doing a little dance together.
I'd love a Pogba on the team. I've always said, I rate Pogba. I just feel that, obviously, Man United don't know how to deal with Pogba, because I look at Pogba as sort of like a new age player. He's a bit like an Aubameyang. He's a character. You got to let guys like that. You got to let them flow. And obviously Mourinho's not letting him flow. You know what I mean? And they're not getting on, and it's brilliant to see.
I think Pogba's just fed up with dancing with Jesse Lingard. Simple as that. But no,
come and dance with Aubameyang and Lacazette. But that would be fantastic. But listen, the Aaron Ramsey situation is kind of really, because this was yet again at Arsenal, man. And like you said, the old regime are responsible for this, and it's an absolute mess yet again. We've been a laughing stock over the years when it's come to transfers. When you saw Arsene Wenger the other day, did you ask him about that? The transfers. I know you was there chatting to Arsene. Hello.
Oh my God.
Hello.
My word, man. I knew that he was going to come out with this. I'm surprised it's taking you this long.
How
I'm surprised it's taking you this long, right?
Hello, Arsene. My name's Mr. DT.
Now, let me explain something.
I'm one of your biggest fans.
You're such a prick. You're such a muggy prick. You wonder why I snap at you on camera, you absolute waste man. Listen.
Come on, man, explain that.
Right, okay, listen. All right, okay. I had a FIFA delegate, right, one of the officials, come up to me before the after party bit and everything. Came up, said that loved watching my videos and stuff and whatnot. I'd only found it about 6 months ago, chatting away and everything. So he was like, yeah, come down, as my guest and everything. We'll go and mingle with the players and whatnot, and we'll go and chat, and I'll introduce you to a couple of Arsenal players.
Didn't sneak in?
No, that was not me. That was Flex. I actually had the black wristband on. Okay. And I had a good chat with Edu, former Arsenal midfielder, Gilberto, Sol Campbell, And then he turned around and said to me, he said, I'm really good friends with David Dein. Let me introduce you to him. So we went over to David Dein to introduce me to him. Having a very good conversation with David Dein for a couple of minutes. We was talking about like the takeover side of things and what's going on at the moment. And he was telling me as a fan not to panic so much and, you know, just see how it goes and everything else. And at that point, Arsene walked over because he was actually with David Dein and he would, you know, was off talking to someone or whatever, and he'd then come over to David Dein. And then David Dein's obviously turned around to Arsene and was like, hi Arsene, and then, you know, and we were introduced to each other. And I was just like, and it was
in awe.
Right, no, do you know what? It was the weirdest thing, yeah?
In awe.
No, this was the weirdest thing, right? He looked at me and I looked at him, and then there was like this pause where I'm just kind of looking at him like, what did I say? And he's looking at me like, I know who the fuck you are. And I was just like, and I was like, all right. And he was like, yes. And I was like, so how's things since you've left the club and everything? I said, everything all right? He said, yes. And I said, less stressful? He was like, a lot less stressful. Now I don't have to worry about you. And Loomis was there as well. And I just was like, and like David Dein was there laughing. And if you look on the video, the pair of us are laughing.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
You know, and we're laughing. And I was just like, oh shit. And I was like, well, you know, I said, and then kind of just made my excuses like, well, okay.
Listen,
well,
I'm glad you was
have a great.
I'm glad you was respectful.
This is the thing, right? What? Let me explain something to the people at home as well, right? I'm at a FIFA event. I have been invited as an influencer to a FIFA event, an official event, right? Massive, massive event. Now, for where I want to go in my career and everything else, this is a huge step. All right, I'm not going to walk into this FIFA event and start pulling up trees and causing problems because you know what? I'm not going to be at one next year. So.
Oh, so you're switching now?
No, it's not switching at all. I'm still who I am.
You're rubbing with the big boys now. No, so you changed.
Says this man here.
You changed
says
up.
This man here.
I ain't changed.
No, but listen.
But you changed up.
What I'm saying to you is, yeah.
No banners or nothing like that out of.
Robbie, when you go to these events, you're the first one to tell me about my behaviour and what I should and shouldn't
obviously
do.
Your general behaviour has to be...
Listen, let's not talk about behaviour after a certain person's actions on that evening, yeah?
Who was that?
Yeah, the Tottenham boy.
Oh.
Yeah, and how embarrassed he was when he tried overstepping the mark on the green carpet. We won't go into that.
You know what, that was funny.
Yeah.
There's a certain Tottenham fan... No, listen, I'm going to sort of, without feeling right... There's a certain Tottenham fan, right? And it weren't expressions because
because people would naturally think it's him. It wasn't him.
But there's a certain Tottenham fan who tried to have a little dig at Sol Campbell, and oh my God, Sol Campbell went in on him. I felt bad for him.
Ripped him.
He went in.
Ripped him.
Big up Sol Campbell, man. I tell you, trust me, man.
And put it this way,
I got my respect levels for Sol Campbell went up like that, man.
And you know the man is, and the thing is as well,
the way he dealt with that.
He dealt with it so good, but so ruthlessly.
Yeah.
And I, for a single millimetre of a second, I felt sorry for that boy. But then I didn't. And I thought it was hilarious. And I was laughing in his face because you don't go on to, it's called the green carpet, but it's effectively the red carpet for people who don't know. You don't go into that situation and take your personal grievances. If Van Persie, Adebayor, anyone like that were on the carpet that night, as much as I hate those guys, I would not air my differences to them because it's the wrong time and place.
And that kind of ties back to the whole thing with the Arsene Wenger thing. My thing is this, right? Is that you come outside a game or you're in doing a podcast or whatever. Of course, you've got to give your opinions, but when you see people, it doesn't matter whether it's Arsene Wenger, it doesn't matter whether it's an ordinary fan of another club. You should have respect for those people. It's your opinion. You're voicing your opinion. You may be upset, you know, but you've got to. Even if I see a politician that I don't like and I don't agree with what he said or whatever, if I see them, I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to start going, listen, you know what I mean? You don't do that. And I think that guy with the Sol Campbell thing is one of the reasons why. Because he got absolutely destroyed. Hey, we didn't actually have a video of it, but I thought it was not really in... I didn't really want to put that up because
not really fair on Sol either.
It's not really fair, and as well, as I said, he should that Tottenham guy should never have done what he tried to do.
He thought it was going to go a different way than it went.
Yeah, he thought that Sol Campbell would just ignore it and just, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He went in.
And the other thing is well is that said Tottenham fan won't be at none of these events again because of his actions.
Yeah. So it was a great event, actually.
I know. And
although that event, man, the best goal going to Mo Salah. I was sat next to this guy, right?
I thought he was going to say you were sat next to Mo Salah.
No, I was sat next to this guy. He's an Egyptian. He's from the Egyptian. He was saying to me, I forgot his name, but he's saying to me he used to play for Egypt back in the day, and he was saying to me how he one time he played against England for Egypt, and he played against Southgate and all that. He's from that era, right? And when Salah got announced as the best goal, right? Even him, he goes, "That's the bullshit." Salah. He goes, bullshit like that. I was going, how could Salah? I don't even think that's Salah's best goal. How can he get that? I mean, look at the goals of Ronaldo.
Bale,
that goal from that Australian guy.
Yeah,
I thought that was the best
one
goal.
Flicked over his head.
I was like, what is this?
That was compensation for him not winning the other one.
How did Thibaut Courtois get voted best goalkeeper, but he wasn't in the team of the year?
How'd that work out? The same thing was as well. Salah wasn't in the team of the year. Eden Hazard was.
Yeah.
But yet Salah was in the top 3 category players.
Oh, come on, man. FIFA.
You need to sort that shit out.
That was some shoe-warning thing going on in that, man.
There was that goal that Salah scored. Then you must owe Ian Robben about 12 Puskas awards. Because he does about 4 of them a season.
I think Lacazette's goal last weekend was better than that. Was better than Salah's goal that won that thing.
You know what I mean? But there's no way.
Do you remember last year Giroud won it, and that deserved to win it. That was a brilliant goal.
I know, and he was up against some serious. I had a look. Giroud's goal was wicked. Someone done a video of all the Puskas awards, and it's just an embarrassment that won it.
Yeah, come on, man. How did that win it?
It's an embarrassment.
I know you want to give Salah something, and probably because he weren't going to get the play. Well, you can't just. That was ridiculous.
And do you know the best thing? My highlight of the night was the fact that I rubbed shoulders with Sergio Ramos and I didn't get injured.
Ramos was a really nice guy.
Yeah, he was quite.
I think he's one of these guys. You see him on an event and that. He's a nice guy. Would chat and stuff. Obviously on the pitch, he's a beast.
Yeah,
right. I love him as a player.
And you know what else I was surprised?
I love him. I put up a picture of me and him, and I said I would love this guy in my team if I could have a player.
I put a picture up of him saying he was a nice guy, and Liverpool fans went mad. But I was really surprised. R9's English. Yeah. The original Ronaldo. I was really surprised at his English, and when we asked him about him, when we asked him about what is most looking forward to tonight, he said partying, which is really strange, and it was just. But there were so many really.
Ronaldo was there. Ronaldinho was there.
Ronaldinho.
Looking slick.
Yeah, we didn't get a word with him, no, man. I was gutted, man. But he came over, and then when he came over, he was giving it all that to us and everything.
Fair play to the players, though, right? A lot of those players came over.
Yeah, 90%.
And of course, the one that we love for the night, Unai Emery coming over.
Yeah, man.
Unai Emery came straight over, and he was being rushed to go into the hall because he was like one of the last people coming in, and he came over. He made time.
Yeah,
he came over. We were only allowed to ask him one question. I was a bit gutted about. I wanted to ask him a bit more, but listen, he
made that time.
Yeah, and then he took.
What people don't realise is that the person in question doesn't walk into these events on their own. They have a load of aides with them. Who literally tell them what they've got to do. You can go to that camera. You can go to that camera. You must now go in. And they were trying to usher him in. And he was then told, look, AFTV are over there. They want to ask a question. Can they? And the aide had to ask Unai if we wanted to do it. And he said, yeah, no problem, straight away.
Yeah, he was cool.
And he was ushered straight over to us. And I was like, wow, cool.
It's one of the things over the years. And when I've spoken to the football club, in conversations that I've had with the football club before, I've said, listen, come on, let Arsenal do an interview with us. Fans are unhappy about certain things. Let Arsenal sit down with the fans. And you've got to do this sometimes. You've got to speak to the fans, you know what I mean? And I just felt that, and this is one of the things I'm hoping is changing our Arsenal, because I've just felt in the past, the very old-fashioned setup we've had, has just led to problems, and we see it now even with this Ramsey thing. And do you know with the Ramsey thing? Do you know that I think it'll be him and Jenkinson are the last of the British core, innit?
Carl Jenkinson is going to outlast them all. Can you believe that? When you looked at that picture of them all standing in front of the Emirates, or the picture of them all sat at a table with Wenger behind, Carl bloody Jenkinson is the last one. Have you noticed every time it's a transfer window, he picks up an injury? I reckon he goes home and deliberately injures himself. I'm out for 3 months. Can't go anywhere, can I, lad? Sorry.
Come on, man, stop that.
The guy's getting 50 odd grand a week.
Stop that.
No, the man, I don't care. The man's getting 50 bags a week.
He wants to
for
play
what?
football. You see the thing of a football fan now? Because he's not as good as a player and you want him to probably go, but if that was a player now that was on fire and he turned around and said, actually, I want to leave, we'd all be having a go at him. The guy wants to play football. He just injured.
But he's crap.
See, well, in your opinion,
in the opinion of about 99% of Arsenal
when he
fans.
first started off at Arsenal, right? Listen, he came in. We didn't pay a lot of money for him. He did all right.
You run by sentiment.
He was doing
because he's got a picture of him in his bedroom with loads of pictures on the wall.
Wait.
I got pictures of me in my bedroom with pictures on the wall. You're going to give me 50 grand a week.
When he first came in and he had a little run in the team, he was doing all right. Then he's been blighted by injuries. It's not his fault.
Not good enough.
How do you know he wouldn't have developed into being a better player? We've seen players.
Because he ain't got football brain.
We've seen players that are not your glamorous players. You know what? The other day I was chatting to Ian Wright. And I said to him, Ian Wright interview as well, make sure you check it out, right? But we was chatting to, got to get that in. We was chatting to Ian Wright the other day, and I said to Ian Wright, goes, who's the most overrated player in the Premier League, right? And he said, James Milner. And if you speak to a lot of Liverpool fans at the moment, they're all bigging up Milner. I'm sure a few years ago, a lot of them would have wanted him out. Milner's rubbish, blah, blah, blah. What does he do? Because he's not a flair player. He's not But, because he's been there and he's been able to work on his game, it's a bit like Henderson then. I think lots of people don't rate Henderson.
I think you got the wrong person. I think the most overrated player is Jordan Henderson. He's absolute pony.
He's not.
He is. He's absolute
I don't think he is. Listen, I think, he's not a skillful player. He's not a glamorous player, but he does a job. You need players like that in your team. Sort of goes back to the Aaron Ramsey thing in a way. In that sometimes you've got these players that they work their socks off for the team.
God, you're tired of my life.
Another one's Welbeck, who incidentally is another player that hasn't signed a new deal, and we don't know what's happening with that. But a couple of goals again the other night. I remember having this argument with you when you were saying to me that you'd rather keep Perez than him. I said I'd rather Welbeck all day long.
I said that Perez was a better finisher.
Welbeck, you said you'd rather keep
because he's a better
Perez.
finisher.
You said you'd drive Welbeck, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, I would.
I remember everything,
I still will.
Because you lot are quick, you and that Troops, you're always quick to say, remember when I told you? But you never remember, remember any of these things.
See, I was disrespecting you, Troops.
Right?
You and that Troops, yeah?
No, I'll tell Troops his face every time, right? You two, you're always quick to remind people. But I remember you said you drive Welbeck, right? Now we know Welbeck's not the greatest finisher. We know he's not the greatest player at Arsenal. But as I was making a point at that time, he's a great team player.
You've even sent him to sleep.
He's a great team. He's not sleeping, so don't try and deflect that. He's a great team player. Don't you agree he's a great team player?
Anyway, as we're getting on, and it's getting to the latter part of the show,
I want to ask you...
Don't you think we should talk about the squad? The team?
I want to ask you one other thing. Kroenke's got 100% now.
Yeah, don't want to talk about it. We ain't got long enough for this podcast. I really don't want to talk about it. We knew about it weeks ago, man.
We knew about it weeks ago, but...
It is what it is.
I mean, you said David Dean said that we shouldn't worry about it. Let's see what happens. But
he said,
maybe he's saying that because he's the one who brought Kroenke to the club in the first place.
Possibly. But what he did say, there's not going to be a CEO no more at Arsenal. The job shared between Sanelli and the other guy that got the no. There was another one, and he got the Adidas deal done.
Maybe it's better anyway. Maybe it's for the better.
Yeah, and Ralph Sanelli was at the event. He was cool. Yeah. He was
maybe it's for the better that these guys are running it anyway. Because as I said, like you make the great point, and it's true. The transfer dealings over the last 10 years have been a absolute disgrace when you see that some of the players, the great players that we've had, that have just been able to walk away. And I don't see any other top club in Europe that allows top players to walk away for nothing.
I know.
Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid for literally the same amount of money they paid for him like 6-7 years ago, right? You know what I mean?
And he's in his 30s.
And he's 33. You know, and we making a guy in his prime yet again, but glad that those guys are going.
And one thing I will say, keep an eye on something as well in future, for a few years' time. Freddie Ljungberg.
He's doing well, isn't he?
I think
doing very well.
I think that he could be earmarked as a future manager for the club if he carries on doing what he's doing with the under-23s. They're looking decent.
Yeah.
And I know it's early stages, and I know it's an under-23s, but if you're talking about bringing back former players, legends, and you know the fans will, you know, buy into that idea. Freddie Ljungberg. I think they would buy into that more than an Arteta. I don't really feel that the fans responded to Arteta. No real connection in the way that we have a connection with Freddie.
Ljungberg and Henry, or Ljungberg and Vieira will be a good.
You never know.
Knows, but
yeah, he's doing well. So let's get into the team for
the weekend. First of all, do Arsenal now have cojones?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
Remember
do.
Troy Deeney, legendary.
And I got the balls to tell Troy that myself.
The thing he said. You carry on.
Yeah, don't worry.
Troy's
fighting his other battles at the moment, man. I was chatting to him the other day about it, but I don't know if
you know what. When he made that point, apparently he might not be fit for the game. I hope he's not, because no disrespect to him, man, but he's a beast, man. I know. He's a hard player to deal with.
I spoke to him after the Fulham game, and he said to me, like, because I knew from weeks ago that he had 2 broken toes. Because a young lad in training stepped on his foot on a Friday, and he's been playing with injections for that. And then there was the tackle by Menza last week against Fulham, and he's now got ligament damage, and he needs another injection. And then when I texted him the other day and I was chatting to him, he said that he's got until Thursday to prove to the manager that he can play.
You hate to miss that match.
He'll be fuming.
You know what I mean? For us, if he misses it, it's a result.
Yeah, because he'll be fuming.
He is.
But I did say to him,
he always gives us. Although he didn't play very well. No, remember last season against us at the Emirates?
I think he lost his kahunas.
Yeah, at the
Emirates, when he stepped up for the penalty.
He missed the penalty.
How's your balls, Troy? Not very good.
You know, but
I said,
have we got cojones now?
Yeah, we have got some balls, and there'll be a big fight, and it'll be an interesting fight, because I know that from what I'm hearing as well, that Socrates is back, so it'll be good.
Yeah, because Socrates had a dead leg, so it should be okay.
I'd like to see Socrates and Troy Deeney go at it, because I think that will be a battle of the heavyweights. Them two will go, and I don't think either of them will back down. Neither of them will back down. Socrates, I think, would thrive on it, and so would Troy.
The players that have got cojones that we brought in is obviously Socrates. Cojones, big time.
Lichtsteiner.
Did you see him the other night?
When he dragged that boy out.
What made me laugh, right, is that when he was when that Brentford player dived and he was there having a go at him, right? The guy next to me, he said if that had been Bellerin, he would have helped the guy up.
Yeah,
right.
He would have helped him up and give him a cover.
Right? And I was going, you know what? That's true. Whereas Lichtsteiner was digging him out, man, as if to say, "What are you doing?
Yeah. Bellerin would have been like, "Do you want to go out for dinner? You know what I mean? Should we go out for a vegan meal?"
And the other player, of course, Torreira, cojones. So the players that have come in, even Guendouzi, has got cojones. So
I know he's got a bit about him.
Brought in a few players that have got a little bit of a.
I've noticed as well, very slyly,
and Lacazette as well.
You took words out of my mouth. Lacazette's got a very slyly little nasty streak in him.
Lacazette's a little rough youth, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think the cojones thing, we still. I still want us to be a bit tougher.
Yeah, it'd be a good test for us.
But we are tougher than we were.
Watford are above us.
Yeah.
Remember that? So we're going to have to do that.
And I thought last week they should have beaten Fulham. They played well in that game.
They should have. First half, especially.
They played well against Man United, right? Not in the first half, but in the second half. But we got a great record against Watford. And this is another, it's at home. And if we can get a win in this game, I mean, look at it. What's that, 6 Premier League games in a...
It'll be 7 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
In all competition.
Yeah, so...
Winning breeds confidence.
We ain't had that for a long time, winning games in a row, you know what I mean? And
I know. What are you going to do? Your views are down and everything.
According to everyone, we're going to close down.
You might as well take all this down. Oh, cancel that poll and everything that we're still waiting for and all that. Cancel it all.
Somebody said it. You heard what people said at the start of the season. There'll be no more Arsenal fan TV now that Arsene Wenger's gone.
Yeah.
You know, the world has stopped.
It's like
there will be no more.
It's like, you know, when we come up towards the year 2000 and everyone said that all the computers are going to shut down and the world's going to end. Yeah. And then at midnight, everyone went,
just going, you know, which goes back to what, as I said at the start of the show, why I don't listen to fools. You know what I mean? But listen, it's absolutely brilliant at the moment. I'm really enjoying the fact that we're playing, you know, we're winning games. Actually, let me cut short. I don't think we're playing brilliantly. I thought...
But we're winning games.
The first half against Everton, we were getting ripped.
Yeah, we were poor. We were
getting ripped.
Very poor. But second half, we manned up.
But second half, we played well.
And something was said at half time.
Yeah. All right, let me see your team.
Where's
the board?
Well, yeah, where's the board? Oh, was that the same board that we can't rub the names off because someone used a permanent marker? Have we not got new boards for this week? There we go. You see this? You need to sort your staff out, man. I've had enough of it.
Yeah, Gazinas.
Do you know what I mean? Ivan Tao. You know what I mean? You fix up. He's just sitting there just like, I'm too ill for this shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look. Right, in goal. Check.
Check now.
Brilliant performance last week. Can't take him out the side.
Check now. Well, he's going to drive in, weren't you?
Yeah, but you can't take him out of the team.
No, what you going to drive in at the start of the season?
Wait there. Every Arsenal fan would have drove Check out of
Not me.
Yeah, shut up, Robbie.
Not me.
Right,
I got criticised. I got criticised for saying he was having a good pre-season. Keep him in.
Behave yourself, man. Listen.
I didn't say that, did I?
Listen, right? Behave, okay? Check after his performance last week. Can't drop him from the side.
Do you think?
Superb. No, I don't think that Leno was at fault for that goal the other day. I know exactly what you're going to come out with.
No, not at fault. Hold on.
I don't think he could have got it. I think it was just...
You watched it back?
Yep, I think it was an exceptional free kick. That's my opinion.
It's a great free kick.
Yes, it was. Now let's get on with the team. Check
Hold on, you're doing it again. Remember you did that the other day?
Check in goal.
I'm still talking about Leno.
Listen.
You don't think his
We ain't got time for this. I've got things to do today.
You didn't think his footwork was that he was a bit flat-footed?
No, I've got things to do today. I'm really busy. I've got to go and see my probation officer.
It's probably the reason why. Right, okay.
Right, so checks in goal. Right back Bellerin.
Bellerin? Not Lichtsteiner.
There we go. He's played really well lately. Bellerin's played well lately.
Okay.
He has played very well. Lichtsteiner's hot on his heels. And it'll be...
Bellerin's been playing very well.
Lichtsteiner's hot on his heels. Centre back will be Socrates and Rob Holding. I think Rob Holding played really well last couple of games. Mustafi just flies around all over the pitch. He's doing my nutting.
Yeah, again, the other day, a couple of times he lunged in. But did you see, I think I was saying to Troops the other night, I was looking at the programme and it said in there that clearances, yeah?
I know, he's made
42 clearances, right? And we was like, whoa, has he? And then I watched him closely in that game. And from corners, he's really good. He does get a lot of clearances. It's that unseen stuff sometimes we don't see. So
I'd just go.
I'd leave him in.
I think Rob Holding's been very
cool and
composed the last couple of games. I think he's done well. I think he brought a bit of composure to the team against Everton. And did Everton really have a chance in the second half against us?
Okay, fair enough.
I think he nullified that, and he was part of that process.
Okay.
Left back Nacho Monreal. Simple as that.
Kolasinac is nearly back, by the way.
Well, he was on the bench the other night.
Yeah.
So I think that Kolasinac will play at Karabag next week and give Nacho a break because he's had to cover it. You know. Torreira, Granit Xhaka, Aubameyang,
Ozil. He's number 10.
Ozil's number 10. So Aubameyang, Ozil in the 10, Iwobi, and Lacazette up front.
I have to say, apart from Holding, that even though he has had 2 games, I'd still probably go with keeping Mustafi in. But apart from that, I'd say that would be the team I'd go with as well. You know, I want us to get off to a fast start though.
Yeah.
Watford are a good team. They're very dynamic.
Yeah.
They're a very fit team. Right, and they're a very dynamic team, and they will come at Arsenal. They're going to be brave, and they're going to come at Arsenal right from the get-go. Right, so, but I want us to start quickly and get the ball up that pitch quickly to those 2 guys, Aubameyang and Lacazette, and they will do damage because they have been they have been sharp.
And I
the
think,
past couple of games.
like we've just said for the last hour or so, what's key is width.
Yeah,
and that's why I think we should start. And
yeah. Who would just before we go there, when Ramsey goes or if he goes, right?
Yeah.
Who is there a player you've identified that? You know, all right, we said Pogba, but that probably be way out of our price range. But is there a player you've identified that you say, actually, perfect replacement?
Not really. If you're going for like, then it'll probably be Banega. But in terms of...
But then if you bought in Banega, where's he going to play? Because he plays in the same position as Ozil as well.
I think he's a little bit more offensive this way. And I think that he's very...
Similar to Ozil.
I don't know. I just think Emery's got something for him. I think Ozil's got... And when I watched him in the World Cup, he was playing a lot more left-sided instead of central. I don't know what Emery's thought process, knows him well when he was at Sevilla. He seems that kind of player that Emery likes, hard-working, physical, tough, get stuck in. And we seem to be going that route.
There's two players I was thinking of that if he was to go. You know I like Zaha.
I just knew that name.
You know I like Zaha because we need a winger. I've said it how many long time. I've been saying it all summer.
But the only problem is, there's one problem to that. Crystal Palace want at least 60, 70 million pounds.
Yeah, listen, you go into Crystal Palace, you put a 50 million on the table.
No, you're not. I don't think they're going to take that in January.
And you make Zaha.
He's just signed a new contract.
Yeah, I know he's signed a new contract.
So if you go there, Crystal Palace are going to sit there in January and go, you're not upsetting our season.
Yeah, well, look how many people over the years have come to us.
No, because
and done that. You've destabilised the players. You've got to be tough in the transfer market. You go in there and you say, yeah, you know what, Zaha, Zaha, we want you. You speak to the transfer window. You can speak to his representative. Zaha, we want you. We'll put you on his wages. Put in a transfer request. Here's 50 mil.
I genuinely believe that Crystal Palace will be able to resist that until the summer at least.
If not, Nabil Fekir, Lyon, right? He's a brilliant player.
I know he's a brilliant player. I'm just thinking about dealing with their president again.
We've got Lacazette from him.
And
we've got different different negotiators now that might be able to. Nabil Fekir at Arsenal would be brilliant. Right, he would be an excellent replacement for Aaron Ramsey.
And we know that he's available.
He can play centrally and he can go out wide.
And you know he's available.
Yeah, and I think that would be a brilliant replacement. So
and
that's two for me.
Lyon are in the Champions League, aren't they? And they've scrapped that rule now, haven't they?
Yeah, they are.
You know, the Aubameyang rule. That's what I'm going to call it now because they changed it once we couldn't use it.
Yeah.
He's available.
And I'd love to hear from people out there. Who do you think? Let me know. Who do you think would be a perfect replacement for Aaron Ramsey? Even someone who play in the exact same position, or somebody who could play out wide.
Do you know why?
The rumours are Pavon. But
do you know what I thought I've liked the look of this season, and I never thought I would because I thought he was shit. It was Richarlison.
How could you think he was shit? I remember last year he was tearing us up.
I know everyone tore us up. Player. Everyone tore us up.
No,
I just see a lot of inconsistency with him at Watford, and maybe there was problems.
Player.
But
he needs to work on his finishing.
Yeah,
he don't have the finishing of a Zaha, but he's
Zaha still needs to work on his finishing as well.
I think Zaha's a good finisher though.
Still think there is room for improvement.
There's room for improvement, but he's a good finisher. He scores a lot of goals. Richarlison is a good player. Obviously, he started the season scoring goals. A good player, but I still think sharpen up on his finishing. But I'd have him. Yeah, I'd have him. But you're never going to get him. He just signed forever. So listen, you guys let us know who you think would be a good replacement. It does look like Aaron Ramsey's career at Arsenal is coming to an end. What do you think about that as well? Let us know. Don't forget you can download this podcast. It's available on all formats. The link is in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Thanks, Mr. DT. Looking forward to the game at the weekend when Arsenal take on Watford. We'll find out what our cojones are like.